Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to wheelie. I'm going to take you through some tips, some tricks, and hopefully by the end of this video you're going to be loving that back wheel. We've got Bex here today. She's going to be showing us how not to wheelie, and I'm going to be showing you a few common mistakes and how to work on that. So there's 4 key points to learning how to wheelie. The first one is picking up your front wheel. The second one is finding that balance point and learning how to hold it there. The third one is starting to understand how to balance sideways and hold the wheelie for longer. And the fourth one is practice. Practice, practice, practice. Before we get started, put some flat pedals on your bike. This is going to give you a little bit more security and it's going to make you feel a little bit safer. In case you loop out, you can jump off the back. Also, you want to be on a road incline. That's going to help you get the front wheel up, but you can also be on a grassy hill. That might feel a little bit safer to you because it's nicer to fall off on the grass than on the tarmac. Most people make the mistake of thinking that to pick up the front wheel it's all in the arms and they bring it up to their chest, but it's actually mostly in the legs. You've got to push down with your front leg and use that power on the pedal to lift the front wheel up. So you've also got to think about what gear you're going to be in. You don't want to be in too hard a gear because that's going to make it a lot harder to pull it up. Too easy and you're just going to spin out straight away. So you want to kind of find that happy medium. Okay, so that time you were pulling your arms up to your chest and you were mainly using your arms to pull the front wheel up. What I want you to try now is thinking about more on your legs pushing through to lift the wheel up, and also you can still have a bit of bend in your elbows to help it up, but I want you to think about leaning up and opening your chest. Okay. Oh God. That's it, you're getting it up better there. Use your arms a little bit to pull up, but it's mainly with your legs. When you're pressing down with one foot to pick your front wheel up, that's naturally going to create some sort of off balance, so you've got to kind of counteract it with when you pull up with your arms. Make sure you kind of pull up really equally, keep your body super central over the top tube, and that's going to help you that when you pull up you don't immediately fall over to the side. Okay Bex, this time do it again, but think about really throwing your weight backwards. Oh.
Yeah, that was better.
Why do I? Okay, so the next part of the wheelie is finding the balance point and holding it there. When we're trying to find the balance point, it's really important to cover your back brake. This is so that if you're getting too far backwards, you can press your brake and it'll immediately bring your front wheel down.
You're loving back wheel back here.
Oh, that's a sick one, bro. Now we're trying to find the balance point, and a lot of people when they're wheeling they think they're there, but they're not. They actually can go a lot further back. I'm going to show you a little drill which will help you understand where the balance point is. All you're going to do is basically really go for it, chuck your weight all the way back, and then because you've got your flat pedals on, you hop off the back of the bike, and then that will actually show you how far is too far, and you'll actually realise that you're not going far enough. So you just ride along, push up and step off the back. Pull it up and step. That was good. So throw yourself back and step off the pedals. I just can't bring myself.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Yeah, so let's run through that a few more times and you'll really start to learn where the balance point is and what's too far.
Yeah, that was better.
That's it. That's it. I'm starting to feel the balance point now. So you can see here, this is Bex's saddle height and she's pushed it a little bit down. Show us what it is full up. That's her full saddle height, but she pushes it a little bit down. That gives you that extra movement to just help you throw it back. Yes, I just noticed something. Actually, top tip from Bex. Pull your trousers up when you try this because you can get it hooked on there. So. Top tip if you want to feel a bit safer. So now you've done that, hopefully that's helped you learn where your balance point is on your bike. Now you need to be able to hold that, and the main part of doing that is in feathering your back brake. So what we're going to do is just hold the back brake on ever so slightly, and then you can learn to just slowly feather it When you're going too far back, put a little bit more pressure on your brake and that'll bring it down. When I was learning how to feather the back brake, at first it took me a while how sensitive the brake was, and at first I was pulling the brake and it would immediately pull my front wheel down. So you've really just got to work out what pressure you're going to use on the brake. So I'll pop the wheelie, when I press my back brake, come straight back down. That's when I pull my brake fully on. So now what you want to try is pulling it on gently. So you can see I'm pulling my brake gently, and when I pull it, I'm readjusting how my body position is and how I'm pedaling. Oh! That time you saw that Bex pulled her brake way too hard. You need to pull it a lot more softly and try and find that gentle point.
I'm just picking them up so quick. You're amazing.
If you're struggling to work out how to pull your brake and you just front wheels always come in straight down, you should try this. So basically start with your brake a little bit pulled, and you can then, it's easier to feather it and make those minor adjustments. Also, it's worth saying, like with different brakes, they're going to work differently. So how I feather my Hope brake is very different to how Bex is going to pull her Shimano brakes, because they've got like a lot sharper bite point, but mine's kind of a bit more squishy. Also, when you're doing the main pulls on the brake, you've got to be prepared for it. It is going to move your bike down, and you've got to be prepared to adjust and counteract to that movement. So when you're pulling the brake, you're going to want to be then going into leaning back a bit more. So you can see how I'm just feathering my brake and then adjusting. I'll press my brake and then just like kind of pedal a little bit more. Push more on the pedals to hold the front wheel up. Point 3, this is probably the hardest part of learning and the part that's going to take the most practice to get them. It's basically being able to balance that sideways motion and holding your wheelie for longer amounts of time. So the two main points to being able to hold your wheelie longer is to look up with your head. A lot of people tend to just look at the front wheel and look down, but if you look up and look ahead, that's going to help you go for longer. And also just kind of think about relaxing your upper body and your shoulders, just kind of holding it loose. And what I tend to do to help balance, I kind of do this little wiggle with my hips on the saddle, and I'm using my knees and my legs to help myself balance.
Yeah.
Yeah! That's a good one! That was a good one! So once you get to this point, this is where you might be starting to get a little bit frustrated, but it's where point 4 comes in and you're going to need a lot more practice. So you just practice, 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 and eventually you'll get there. When I was starting to learn to wheelie, I basically set myself some goals. Originally, I wanted to wheelie up my garden, and then it was like certain parts of my local rides. So yeah, if you just set yourself some goals, that's really going to help you see that you actually are progressing, because sometimes you forget how that you actually are progressing. Practice as often as you can and wherever you can, whether you be out on your trails or in your garden or up the drive. Just keep on practicing, and it's a long road of progression, but you're gonna get there, and just keep on getting at it.
Now that we're in lockdown, I'm going to be practicing once a day for the next 2 weeks, and I'm going to make a video and hopefully see some progression, because wheelies are my nemesis actually, and I've been struggling with them for a long time.
Yeah, so let's make that your challenge too. Just dedicate 10 minutes of your day every day for the next 2 weeks and see how you improve. How far can you wheelie? And once you've got there, the world is your oyster. You can start to do loads of different things like coaster wheelies and one-handers and stuff like that. Hopefully that has helped you how to wheelie. There's a few tips and tricks there, and hopefully you've got out there, done some practice, and you've got better at wheelies. Let us know in the comments if there's anything you're struggling with, and we'll reply and try and give a few tips. And yeah, subscribe, and let us know if there's any more how-tos you want to do like this, and if this kind of video worked for you.
Loves back wheel, loves back wheel, loves back wheel,
Love back wheel.
loves back wheel.